6 different pathways of what you can do with your career once you become an ACCA. So, number 1, advisory. Advisory has become a huge domain in our field. Advisory can have accounting advisory. KPMG as a company was, I think, one of the first companies to start an accounting advisory domain, where they were helping companies transition from the old Indian accounting standards to the Ind AS, which is 95% a replica of IFRS, for all those who understand this point. Now, when KPMG started this, one of their partners was a CA plus an ACCA. So literally at a partner level in the Big Four, there was somebody who was an ACCA in this field. And this is called accounting advisory. Besides accounting advisory, there is risk advisory, mergers and acquisitions, valuations, and it goes on and on. There are multiple things, and if you are interested in different projects, if you like learning the basics but then applying it for different solutions, advisory is a great option for you. Second, auditing. I started my field in the field of audit, and I'll tell you what, many people find audit theoretical, sometimes boring, but the beauty of audit is that, number 1, what I learned more than the actual work, because look, as a fresher, especially if you're a fresher, most of the work you're going to be doing is going to be tedious and boring and grunt work, but we all have to go through that. But what I learned as an auditor, I went to different industries, I went to different companies, and I learned different businesses. I learned pharma, I remember going to hospitals, I remember going to hospitality, I went to a diamond industry, I went to a bank, I went to so many different domains, again, so many different companies. I understood how they function, understood numbers tell a story of the business, it all comes to you. So maybe, when you're working, in the first year, you might be overwhelmed. But over time, it's going to start making so much sense to you. You can start seeing the world in a different perspective because of your experience with audit. And by the way, audit, what I was talking about is statutory audit. There's internal audit and forensic audit. Forensic audit is booming because, as many of you all know, forensic is basically financially detecting how frauds and scams are taking place. And there's an entire audit field for that now. People are really jumping onto that. Again, a lot of the Big Four are hiring ACCAs for forensic auditing. Next comes working within a particular company in an industry. So what I mean by that is that you are not working in the Big Four as a professional, where you work here and you have a lot of different clients who are offering these services to. Working in an industry, working in a particular company, is that you basically are managing some aspect of their finance, accounts, or treasury, and then you're rising in that company, helping them manage all their compliances, all their accounts, making all financial decisions. So for example, I know somebody who was a ranker in ACCA, and she had worked for a fintech company. In fact, Zell's finance and accounting head is an ACCA himself. I then also knew somebody who had worked in ICICI Securities in financial reporting. I know somebody who used to work in an investment bank. So these are not professional services, but you can choose where you want to go and you can start trying to build. I know somebody who was working in a real estate company in Bangalore a few years ago, and one of the heads of their finance and accounting departments. So basically, if you decide to work in a particular industry, you can find a company. Generally, every company needs somebody who's a chartered accountant or equivalent. You can start there, or you can continue over there. Fourth is the path to a CFO. Now, a total experience combination can lead you to becoming a CFO. I give this example of Nirbhay, one of our top faculties, a lot. He studied ACCA in London, then he worked in Deloitte, then he was the one who worked in the Bangalore real estate company, and then he's currently the group CFO of a 2,000 crore financial securities company in Bombay called ABANS. And here he has the head office here, headquarters here, but he has so many subsidiaries across the world, and his job as a CFO is to manage compliance, manage the taxes, consolidate all this, make sure that there is value, maximization of value for shareholders, the company is making money, and he is basically a CFO, right? He signs off on almost all the major transactions that happen in such a huge company, and he is an ACCA only, not a CA plus ACCA. So that's another path that many people aspire towards. Fifth is you have your own venture. First of all, I worked in a mid-sized firm where I did audit for a few years, and I worked in PwC where I did international taxation, and then I landed up starting Zell. Similarly, one of my students, Neil, started an investment banking company, and he is killing it. Before this, he was working in Deloitte. Another student of ours, Rashesh, started a company in which he is now helping corporates make the presentations using AI. Now, this is an ACCA who went into tech and started a company. The way you can actually use the knowledge is and build your future is insane. Last but not the least is going international. Whether you want to go to another country and work as a professional in companies like the Big Four, I remember I told you guys that one of my students, she got a secondment opportunity to work in San Francisco. I know people who have gone to Singapore, to Dubai, to Canada, to UK. I know people who got an opportunities in Australia. All of these are Indian people who have studied ACCA and grown up. So going international is absolutely possible. So guys, these are 6 ways that you can think about different career paths. All of them are interchangeable. You can start in one path and jump as long as you get the right opportunity and you are built for it. You can keep on, you have way too many options that you can choose, and where your life leads you to is basically a combination of course, how much effort you put, what opportunities come your way. But starting a qualification that gives you the plethora of options is what you can control now. So if you find any value in this video, then please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if there's any other question, then please leave it in the comments.